If you want to
Nice.
confirm that we're not having audio issues, since I pre-caught the one that could have been really bad.
Of course. Be able to hear your voice.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can. Yeah, I can hear us.
Yeah. I just, I get paranoid, especially after that one episode where it was 40 minutes of you talking to yourself before somebody texted me and said, "Hey, by the way, we can't hear you."
Finally, you're just trying to gaslight me into thinking that you aren't real.
Yeah. Didn't even.
I go back to listen to an episode and it's all just that.
Yep, just you talking to yourself. Sounded like an insane person.
Well, no, sounds like you had a nice busy weekend, but
I need to
productive
relax.
weekend.
Yeah. I'm hoping I'll be able to relax a little bit. Stuff's getting done, so I think I should be able to relax more, which will be good.
It's good to relax.
Yes.
Take a load off. Draw yourself a nice bubble bath.
Well, I'm not much of a bath. Well, the shower needs to be cleaned first, but
see, no, you just take a bath.
okay.
No,
So the cider's like 6.53, 6.55, so fairly strong. So for listeners, I do homebrewing, and I have a nice little Excel calculator tool I built, because there's a standard formula that you can use, which is just the initial minus the final times 1.31, 0.25, all of that divided by 100. But once you get to high ABVs, that equation doesn't work anymore. So you need to use a fit equation, which I am not going to attempt to read out here because it is a long equation. I read a homebrew paper to understand the calculation. It's what is it? You use E, which is like negative 668.926 plus more numbers times that. It's a third order polynomial. And then you slap that third order polynomial into another third order polynomial. So
you lost me. Too much math going on here. All I know is it's alcoholic.
Yes. Yeah. But
no.
I was trying to figure out, because there's not really any calculations for back sweetening, right? Because if you're putting in more volume, you need to be able to, the final ABV is going to be less, right? Because you're putting more volume in. So, but to find the true new ABV, I would have to actually know the original volume, which is really hard to do. I don't have a graduated cylinder 5 gallons big. So
I'm sure you could find one of those online.
Probably. I don't know where I'd store it.
Just put it right on your kitchen table.
But I have something that kind of figures it out. It works for small scale, and I do a lot of small scale stuff, so that works. And then I also have I should stream you my desktop really quick, Coop, just so you can see what I'm looking at, to give some context for you to maybe explain better to the audience.
Oh Lord! So yeah, you actually do have an Excel sheet open with that's a lot of numbers.
That's to calculate the calories per 12 ounces.
Wait, why are you calculating the calories?
I thought it would be fun, because that was another equation that was in his paper. I guess I should shout the paper out. It is, where did it go? Oh, did I close it? I might have closed it. I'm gonna open it back up so I can shout it out. It is brew by the numbers, add up what's in your beer by where's his name? Oh wait, there was by Michael Hall, PhD.
Michael Hall. Look at that, Dr. Hall.
But
his work's being utilized.
Oh, can you see this, Coop?
No.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's a good paper. I'll drop a link in the description, so if anybody's interested, they can look it out. But I don't know, it's one of those intersections of hobbies where I like doing math, and I also like doing homebrew. And the fact that somebody's as analytical about it, because I'm like, I don't want the approximate ABV. I want the exact. What's the equation? So here's that equation that I was mentioning earlier. This is the exact ABV. But
there we go. We'll know exactly where we're going in.
Yes.
And then we'll mix it with some vodka anyways, and then lose everything.
But because I mean, granted, the whole process itself isn't super, because you're super precise, because you're having to visually measure with a hydrometer in a tube, so human error. But I've wanted to get one of they make these things called tilt hydrometers. You drop it into the vessel, and it's calibrated such that it stands directly upright in water, or maybe not quite directly upright, because you might go below 1. You might have like a 0.990 specific gravity, which basically just means it's less dense than water. And it measures, it's calibrated such that it sends its angle and it converts that directly to a specific gravity. So you can graph the specific gravity over time, because it's a little electronic thing that you drop in your fermentation. And it can also pull the temperature too. That's so cool. It's like $120 though. It's very expensive, but it's really neat.
So you're saying if I drink enough of it, I'll always float in water?
Well, you should always float in water anyway, because you should be less dense than water.
No, not me.
Yeah,
I sink like a rock.
You do a lot of working out then, doing a lot of weight lifting.
No, I just eat a lot of little lead balls.
Oh, you gotta stop that.
Just just a snack, pop in my mouth.
You need to stop doing that. That's not good. That's not good for you.
What is it? There's like certain types of birds that like eat rocks to help them digest.
Yeah, that's a gizzard stone.
Oh, yeah, gizzards, yes.
Gizzard stone. Gizzard, I think, is just a bird's stomach.
And I eat a lot of gizzards, so I'm full of a lot of rocks.
You don't take the stone out. You just eat it.
No, I just eat them whole. It's faster that way. Yeah, I mean, I don't. If I didn't, I wouldn't have enough time to go swimming.
Isn't that so weird that birds eat stones to help their digestion because they can't chew?
Yeah, it's so odd.
Feels
like a pretty roundabout way, but it'd either be that or birds having teeth, and I don't think I feel comfortable with that.
Well, they used to. They used to be dinosaurs.
Yeah, well, I'm glad they don't anymore. That'd be scary.
They've got a little rock tumbler in their stomach instead, which just feels wrong.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah, fair enough. I think teeth and cheeks work better than stones in a stomach, but what do I know?
And you can't fly, so...
Correct. And I've also not been one of the longest living creatures on the earth, so... Although some might say that. Wayo.
Someone say you're the longest living creature on the earth?
Well, yeah, remember we were born in like the 1800s or whatever. I don't even know what the lore is at this point.
The lore runs deep.
It does. It changes also every single week. Less canonical continuity than Dragon Ball Z.
Speaking of continuity, you want to jump into the next album?
Yes, let's roll on to the album. So hello everyone, and welcome back to the Audio Shop Podcast, and welcome back to Thanks-Lynning. The joyous time of year where it's Thanksgiving, but we celebrate Jeff Lynne. It just so happens we're doing his band, ELO, because he doesn't have much solo stuff. So we're going through ELO. I'm feeling very festive here. I just made some... I was intending to make chicken stock, but the bag of bones I grabbed were turkey bones, so I made turkey stock. So it smells like Thanksgiving in here.
Oh, there we go. It's the season.
Yeah. You want to give us a little bit? Well, I guess I'll do the history. I've been doing it. ELO's my band. But you know who ELO is. English rock band, 1970s. I'm not going to go through all that again. This specific album, though, is their third studio album. And it was the first to be recorded without input from Roy Wood, who I think we went over this in the past. I'm pretty sure he came up with the original idea for ELO. And it's like that meme of, the guy handing somebody something. I made this. You made this? The guy walks away. I made this. That's ELO, pretty much, and Jeff Lynne. Very quickly got ousted from his own band. I believe he went on to lead ELO 2 but don't quote me on that. I'm not well versed in ELO.
Not to be confused with the album ELO 2.
Correct. Yes.
The band
sorry,
ELO 2.
Let me rephrase. ELO Part 2. Who stuck more to the orchestral roots. Roy was very much, hey, we're straying too far. We're Electric Light Orchestra. That should be pretty first and foremost, which I'm confused as to why he did it on this album when this is still sounds exactly like album 2, but whatever. To each their own, artists are artists. It was released in the United States in November of 1973 by United Artist Records, and in the UK on December 14th, 1973 by Warner Brothers. We talked about this last time. Was dropped from Electric Light Orchestra. Before this, they were the Electric Light Orchestra. Now they're just Electric Light Orchestra, or ELO. And then there was that one album, the live album, Night the Light Went On in Long Beach, where they still had but whatever. And then the album was reissued on September 12th, 2026. No, 2006. And there's variants of this one. I'm not sure. I think the UK album cover is Jeff Lynne staring over the world, and then the US album cover is the guys standing around with their belly buttons out. I'm not sure why they went with different album covers. There's a guy on the album cover, actually, on the US version that's not actually in the album. He's just in the picture.
Well, no, it has to be in the album, right?
Yeah.
Just has to be on the album cover.
Well, the cover implies that that's the band, but there's just another guy. Let me look. I was reading it on the wiki earlier. It was Hugh McDowell was on the front cover, but he just wasn't on the album.
Really padding the resume, huh?
Yeah, he's a cellist or cellist. Yeah, cellist.
He could say, "I'm on the album the third day."
Yeah,
I'll be like, "Oh, what instrument did you play?" No, I'm on the album.
But I'm pretty. Yeah, that's the U.S. cover. I'll be honest. I greatly prefer the U.K. cover of Jeff looking down over the world. I don't know why. I just do.
I guess that's more Jeff per capita.
Well, just the one with all of them showing their belly buttons just doesn't make any sense.
It does on the third day. It does have like a kind of a biblical feel,
Yes.
which a man looking down at their feels, as opposed to just dudes standing around.
Yeah. Granted, it's a the picture of Jeff is poorly cropped. It also is him without his sunglasses on. So one of those few ones.
Maybe it's because in this picture he is the sun. And why would the sun wear sunglasses? Riddle me that.
But yeah, all the songs on this were written by Jeff Lynne, except one. He did not write In the Hall of the Mountain King, surprisingly.
Yes.
But he also produced the whole album. So we're moving into. There's a reason that he changed the name to Jeff Lynne's ELO, because we're on the third album and he's doing everything now. So there's some conflict within the ELO greater community of joking about Jeff Lynne being an evil villain and Roy Wood being a savior kind of thing, but I'm not sure how much the Zoomers are continuing on that tradition, or Gen Alpha for that matter.
I was about to say Zoomers. It's Gen Alpha now. Or
Well,
it's Gen Beta.
Zoomers are in their teen years, right?
Oh, yeah. Zoomers are teens to 20s.
Late teens, early 20s. So they'd be the ones getting into obscure online arguments. I don't think Gen Alpha's there yet.
No, not quite.
They're early teens and children. But we can move on to the first track. That's enough brain dump of random ELO factoids that I half remembered, that some of which might not be correct, but I'm going to hope they are.
Yeah, no, let's go into track number 1 then, if you're ready.
Yes.
Ocean Breakup / King of the Universe.
Yeah, so this one, I'll be honest, not sure why it's got the Ocean Breakup in there. I feel like it could just be titled King of the Universe, and that'd be fine. But, we start with that. We've got the very heavy filter still on the sound. They're sticking with that, trying to sound older than they are. And they've got, I always think of it as Morse code signal, excuse me, in just the left ear. But I'm not actually sure what that is, that beeping at the start.
Yeah, it's very Morse code-esque. Maybe it's spelling something out that, just a little cheeky, or I don't know. But it's a very, I guess it's going for kind of maybe if you're going with the original album art, kind of like synthy, regal, spacey vibe.
And I tried to check. There's no wiki page for Ocean Breakup. So if somebody knows Morse code out there and can decode that, that'd be nice. Maybe if I'm really bored one day, I'll try that.
After you're done doing your alcohol calculations.
Yeah. Well, that's going to take a lot of time. So we get some really grand synths around the 40-second mark. Still very electric and very orchestra, sticking to their roots. And we get some nice soaring strings. Kind of, I think of this as the transition between Ocean Breakup, King of the Universe. We get soaring strings while Jeff moans into the mic before announcing he's the King of the Universe and King of the Earth.
He's definitely moaning.
Yeah.
Melodically.
Yes.
But yeah, it's definitely a switch up there. Vocals are still rough in terms of I guess audio quality, which I guess is to be expected. This wasn't recorded that much later than ELO 2.
No, well, these first couple albums they were doing 1 or 2 a year.
Yeah, they were pumping these guys out.
But it's a very, very clear choice. It's an artistic choice still. And I've got the only other thing I've got written here, Cooper, is for the end. So if you've got anything else.
Oh no, I mean, about the end where the kind of the violins and the are almost clipping.
Yeah, you got the the weird light bit of pizzicato string or pizzicato. I always make the Z's a T. And it just ends. It doesn't roll. It sounds like it's trying to roll over to the next track, but then it just cuts.
Yeah, there's some odd endings on this album.
Yeah, I've noticed that in the past, but sitting down and actually writing about it, you can really, really tell now. I'm not sure.
It's almost like anti-album flow.
Yes, it's very jarring. So we can make the abrupt transition as well to Bluebird is Dead. Change up our.
Yeah, track number 2, Bluebird is Dead. Oh no, not Bluebird.
Yeah. A lot of songs about bluebirds.
No, bluebirds it's got a good ring to it. They're pretty.
Because there was the other track on, I believe it's on Time, just titled Bluebird.
No, Race is a good mental image, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. But again, we launch into it really heavy on the strings and grand piano, which I love the sound at the start of this one. The vocals in this one are a bit more of an instrument. There's a lot of strings that are actually layered over the top of the vocal line. The vocal line's kind of further back in the mix. And we're still getting that, as we were with the previous track as well, and the last album, that double vocal line where you can hear him singing normally, but you can only hear it for a fraction of a second before the filtered version comes in. So it sounds like he's performing it twice, but it's really one performance with you hearing both versions.
Yeah, and actually, I quite like the vocals on this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're good.
With kind of obviously there's still violin on the song, and it gets a little synthy in the middle. There's a lot of synth creeps in these songs as well, where it kind of keeps this kind of laid back yet driving energy through most of the song. I think it's a nice mellow. What's the ultimate and penultimate?
I don't know. Penultimate's not the ultimate. What's
it's second to last. So what's second to first?
I have no idea.
Post ultimate. No, but it's good. Second song.
Again, and we get another attempt at a rollover there that just doesn't. There's no transition. It's like they planned it, and then I don't know if they jumbled up the order or what.
I didn't mess up the order. Just do it in that order for it.
I don't think there's any format in which these roll correctly, but who knows? Anyway, jumping to track 3 if you're ready, Coop.
Yes, track number 3. Oh no, not Susan.
No, it's Suzanne.
What? I refuse to pronounce it like that. Sus Anne.
This one is a bit odd because it starts with such high energy, and it builds and then it drops to one of the lowest, if not the lowest or slowest song on the album. The lead up really does not match.
Yeah, it's. I'm glad you picked that up too. It's like this very energetic, like violin burst, and then just drops to like this low key vocal delivery, and like some good backing piano, but like pretty sparse instrumentation.
Mm-hmm. And this, as far as I know, don't quote me on this, this is the only ELO song that has cursing in it.
That can't be true. Really?
As far as I've caught, this is the only one. And it's also not rated explicit on Spotify for some reason, despite having the F word multiple times. Maybe it's because he's British and he says it in a weird way.
It doesn't pick up on it.
Yeah. Because to be fair, showing my hand a bit from the next one, Spotify doesn't even have the lyrics for the next one. So maybe it can't discern British vocals. I don't know.
Hey, well, it's the Queen's English. We just don't have the technology for it yet. Huh?
I was just gonna say, while it is slow, the vocal performance is fantastic on this one. I really love the delivery, and it's kind of, it's slower, but the strings are beautiful. It's just, while I'm not a fan of the bait and switch with the fast and slow, it's a very good song.
Also, the bait and switch on the end, where
Yes,
it becomes a completely different song.
Yeah, it turns back to the original style, I feel.
Well, not even. It becomes like a kind of a synthy breakdown.
Yeah. I
feel
feel
the beginning was like an energetic, like violin burst.
Well, it's like poetry. It rhymes, orchestra. And
no, you can't just say that and act like it means something.
I mean, that's what George Lucas did. I can do it. Anything George can do, I can do.
That's. I'm glad you lived to such a high standard.
Yeah. I'm going to go back and edit all the Audio Shop episodes so we say different things, because that wasn't our original artistic intent. And again, with this one, we get a hell of a cut. It just ends.
It is right into the next song,
yes,
which is track number 4, New World Rising / Ocean Buildup, parentheses, reprise.
No, Ocean Breakup reprise.
What'd I say?
Build up.
Ocean Breakup reprise. But yeah, Sun Jump into New World Rising with this kind of bloopy and synth and like distant vocals.
Yeah, I call this Mr. Blue Sky prototype song.
That is exactly what I was thinking. It's got like the kind of, I actually put proto Blue Sky.
Yep.
It's got like these kind of sound effects in the background, kind of the driving violin, even kind of the vocal switch ups that it's got.
And I mean, there's that one Beatles song as well that I think it draws inspiration from. I can't remember what it is. Wake up, get out of bed, drag the comb across that.
Wait, no. Well, you're talking about A Day in the Life by the Beatles.
Yes, Day in the Life. Yeah. Obviously not the whole song, just that one section. But this one, it has the "Hey, good morning" guy in the background. Then you get the sorry, I said harmonicas, but it's kazoos duetting with the violin, kind of acting like a siren.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how to describe it except like you said, proto blue sky, just kind of being a little got those wackier elements.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess maybe more diegetic elements.
There's a lot of kazoos
Um,
too.
and then does it really even have an ocean breakup at the end? I guess kind of.
Kind of.
I guess the Morse code stuff comes back.
Yeah, and the heavy synth. Because we get a little bit of Solway synth duetting with the strings early on during the New World Rising part, and he's at 140. He says the thing. He says New World Rising. But then once we get towards the end, we get it. I mean, it's jarring, but like in a good way. That bass synth, that blast, I love that sound so much.
It's just like a bassy synth.
It's so good, and it just rattles you. That's the Ocean Breakup reprise. And we don't have a janky end, which is the best part. It ends properly.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this isn't quite leading to Showdown, but I guess as good as this album's going to get with it.
They're not doing lead-ins. It's just songs.
Which does take us to track number 5 here, Showdown, which is a bit of a funkier cut on the album.
Yes.
If I dare say that.
It also feels way more put together than the other tracks.
100%.
The vocals are clearer and cleaner. I think it's because this is another one where it was the history of it's a little bit weird. Showdown was originally only on the US release.
Oh, really?
It was released as a single in the UK and topped at number 12. But it was included on the album on the third day on the US release, but the UK version had the song omitted from the album, but featured a year later on the band's first compilation album titled Showdown. So in 2006, the remastered issue of On the Third Day would feature the song in both countries for the first time. So I don't know why that. I think it was because in one country it was released by United Artists, and then the other country it was released by Warner Brothers. It doesn't. So technically, there's 2 original versions of the album, but the only difference is the UK version doesn't have Showdown, so it's even shorter than 39 minutes. I don't know.
I mean, I'm very surprised the English release didn't have Showdown, since it's like the lead single of the album.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also this was kind of the first show a bit of a change in style. This definitely sounds a lot more like later ELO than the first 3 album ELO. And it was actually John Lennon's favorite song at the time. This is where there's that famous I believe, I don't know if it was this song, but there's that famous when he was hosting his own radio show, like the Gorillaz riffed off in that one Converse commercial.
Inspired by.
Yes. But this is what caused him to dub the band Son of Beatles. So he described the song as a beautiful combination of Marvin Gaye's I Heard It Through the Grapevine and Lou Christie's Lightning Strikes with a little I Am the Walrus underneath.
The guy needs to get over the Beatles.
He is John Lennon. What else do you have going for him? His marriage? No.
Wow. Which one?
So yeah. And I got a quote here from Jeff Lynne as well. He said, I made the riff up and I was thrilled with it. I knew it was going to be a hit even after I'd just done a few notes of it. When we cut, the engineer said, this is a classic. I was thrilled to bits.
Oh, John Lennon said the first quote.
Yes.
Okay, I thought that was Jeff Lynne.
No. That was John Lennon. John Lennon described it as that.
Okay, that makes it.
That's also
he's allowed to talk about the Beatles. He was one of them.
Yeah, I was like, what else did he have going for him? He was a Beatle. He hosted a radio show, and his wife was famously terrible. So, he was also famously terrible.
No, but I quite like this song.
Yeah,
it's almost got a.
It's classic.
The guitar solo almost has like a Santana-esque vibe to it.
Mm-hmm. That was played by Lynn on Mark Bolan's Gibson Firebird.
Ooh.
So,
Oh, look.
I believe it was also there. It was used in a movie. What was it used in? I can't remember. There was some movie that it was like the theme to, but I don't recall now. And that's also not coming up on Wikipedia. But in 2022, Jeff Lynne said this was one of his favorite songs. One of his 9 favorite ELO songs.
I would absolutely believe it.
Yeah, and it holds up really well. It definitely speaks to where the band would be heading. You know, a little less orchestra, a little more rock, but overall, still a good marrying of both.
Both electric and orchestra?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh. Well, how about we jump on over then to track number 6, if you're ready, Sam?
Yes.
Track number 6, Daybreaker. It's the instrumental cut on the album.
Yes. And this is the back half of this album. I guess this is kind of Showdown. It's a 9-track album. So where's the B-side start? You know, I feel like Showdown.
Well, according to I was about to say, yeah, I guess Showdown was only on subsequent releases, so kind of an odd breakpoint.
But this is kind of the start of the B-side, and personally, hot take, I think the B-side's better than the A-side. And it starts off here with Daybreaker, which is just this crazy, pulsing, driving synth piece that swaps with the strings as the main line back and forth, and it's just constantly pushing with the constant tempo.
Yeah, no, there's some great instrumentation on this song. I mean, super energetic, super synthy and violin-y. Again, electric orchestra. It's all in the name.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of has just Jeff going all out on the orchestra stuff here. I guess Rory would, in this case, probably had a hand in this as well.
Well, no, remember he was the one that didn't have any. He had nothing to do with this one.
Really, not even a little bit from. I mean, this was only recorded a couple months after.
That's what I was saying. This was the first to be recorded without input from Roy Wood.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't at least some carryover, especially on like songs like this.
I don't know what to tell you. You were the one that wrote the the history intro. I'm just reading what you wrote. And
I'm just saying.
Copied directly from Wikipedia.
I'm just saying what my ears hear.
But yeah, it was all in. Roy Wood's not even credited.
Well,
he dropped from the band.
No, and he made ELO 2.
Yep, part ELO part 2.
Part 2, of course.
But around the 1:10-minute mark here, I swear you can hear really far back in the vocal mix where it's doing the strings. I swear you can hear it saying hello, hello. You know, like hello, hello. I feel like I can hear that, but I don't know if that's my brain making it up.
It's Jeff trying to talk to you from the beyond.
He's not dead yet.
Oh yeah, from beyond 1973.
I see.
Maybe is there any it's like, you know how the Beatles have like the Paul is dead theory?
Oh yeah.
Is there like a Jeff is dead theory?
No, I think there's a when I was talking about the ELO weirdos arguing online, I think there's a thing where Jeff killed Roy Wood or something like that. I don't know.
Lord, would have made it really hard to make his sequel band.
Yeah. Well, when he actually died.
Yeah, well,
because
I think that's just
he's still alive.
Okay.
Who am I thinking of?
All right. Who did Jeff Lynne kill?
I don't know. There's some
relation for these crimes.
I haven't visited our /ELO circle jerk in a while. I don't remember what the joke is. But apparently he's still alive.
Good for him. Wanna go into the next track?
Yes, track.
Oh, before I mention that the song ends on a Daybreakers brings the energy really down, becomes very
Mm-hmm.
melancholic with some distant piano, right? Really brings down the energy to lead directly
Yeah,
into the next song. Track number 7, "Mama Ma Bell,"
which starts with that really,
chunky
really
guitar riff.
hard guitar riff. And then at the 11-second mark, they got a little bit of what the kids call a hawk tua, where
Okay, no, stop.
where they spit on the ground to kind of give it. Oh yeah, we're doing a hard song.
Yeah, it's got some proto butt rock vibes going on in this one.
Which, I mean, I will give them credit. The guitar melody on this is pretty hard for ELO. You know, it's still classic rock, not quite hard rock, but it's hard for ELO. The cheerful strings bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, the violins maybe are their most dissonant.
Yeah, it's
In this
quite
song.
cheery, but I do. The start is, you know, if you're gonna write a hard rock ELO song, that's how you start it. The spitting is an interesting addition, but I like it.
You know, I get what they're going for.
Yeah.
The violins do add something pretty fun. Though it's an odd mixing of genres here.
Yeah.
Maybe less successfully than at some of their other exercises.
I quite enjoy this. Like I said, I have a very soft spot for the B-sides here, and I think most of the songs are better, and Mama Ma Bell certainly qualifies. I would have loved if they had played this at the concert, but they didn't. But it's a good song. It's a little odd that all the instruments drop out and the singing continues with the same energy. It's always a little disconcerting at the end, but
Yeah, the ending's super odd as well. Like I'm waking up from a nightmare.
yeah. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Well, speaking of nightmares, rolling into track number 8.
Track number 8, "Dreaming of 4000."
Not breaming, dreaming.
I said dreaming.
I typed breaming.
Oh.
And it starts a little bit slow, which we get a proper cut at the end of 7, track 7, Mama Ma Bell, and we start in track 8. It's a bit of a slow start for the first minute, and then it just suddenly all hits, and you're like racing through the countryside at night.
Yeah, it's got a very well, I mean, I just look at the violin and guitar, but it almost bounces into I don't know how to put it. Maybe like a slight Spanish guitar vibe in the background.
I can see that. Yeah.
Like that twang.
Yeah, that fast short strumming.
Yeah, exactly.
And it feels like it kind of transitions from a dream to a nightmare at a certain point because they shift to a minor key.
Make it a little spooky.
Yeah.
It even has this like little like I don't know, like synth whistling in the background.
Yeah. I don't think it's a theremin, but it might be a theremin.
It's theremin-esque.
Yeah, if it's not a theremin,
whatever it is,
it's a synth theremin setting.
Definitely simulating a theremin.
Yeah. And again, the vocals here are more instrument. He's saying things, but you're kind of just going with the feel of the lyrics rather than what's actually being said. And the last minute, so good. It feels like it gets really classical stylings there at the end, which I quite like.
Oh yeah, when there's like a great violin escalation at the end. It's right after kind of a vocal delivery break.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah, good energy, and it rolls right into track 9 if you're ready, Coop.
Track number 9, "In the Hall of the Mountain King."
Longest song on the album.
I mean, some might think, I'm not claiming anything here. I don't have anything to back this up. That their album was too short, so they made a 7-minute Hall of the Mountain King cover.
What? They've
to make up for the time.
They've released 32-minute albums. I'm not sure what you're talking about or insinuating here.
I'm just saying, maybe you're making these albums so fast, something's got to give.
I mean, you can say that, but this is my favorite version of the song. I was crushed that it wasn't played at the concert.
You're surprised he didn't play it in the Hall of the Mountain King at the concert.
Yes. because it starts very reserved, traditional pizzicato on the strings and playing on the strings, but then you get some what I described as a moaning electric sheep in the background before the alarm goes off. The drums come in, and now it's a rock song.
Yeah, no, it's obviously not a straight cover. It's a lot like the Chuck Berry cover they had on their last album, where it's their own take on it, not just like even a straight cover.
No, not at all. Because I don't think half of these electric instruments were in the original Hall of the Mountain King.
Well, considering that came out in 1875, I would think not.
Who knows? It might have been ahead of its time. Can you imagine if this came out then instead?
I don't even know how they react to that.
It's that Victorian child eating a flavor blasted Dorito meme. They just instantly pass away.
Just die from shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's an interesting cover of it. That kind of synthy violin rock. And it doesn't, go light on the violin either. It has even an interesting fiddle performance.
Yes.
The 4-minute mark.
It doesn't really quite fit the original intention of the song, but I like it.
Take some liberties.
Yeah, it's fun. It's and they've got almost a jaw harp in there as well.
So, I mean, obviously I can respect that they took this they stretched this song to the point of breaking what I would definitionally call a cover.
Yeah.
But it's still fun.
Yeah, and one of my favorite bits is the last minute, where the tempo just continuously speeds up. By the last time the violinist is supposed to play, they can't even do it in time because it's too fast. They can't go up and down that fast because it just the speed up is relentless, and they get really fast by the end. I absolutely love it.
Which, to be fair, is in the spirit of the Hall of the Mountain King.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly it speeds to a conclusion.
And it train runs into the end of the album, and it all ends on, a nice orchestral strum, or I guess bow strum. What is that called? What is it called when you draw a bow across an instrument?
Play a violin. Strum.
I'm sure there's some Latin word for it, but I don't know it. But it all
I played trumpet. I don't know.
That. Yeah, I was in brass too, so I wasn't good enough to be in the full orchestra, whatever. That was for the kids that wanted to do that for a living. But that's the end of the album.
It is.
So now we gotta pick our favorites and least favorites, Cooper. So what would you say your least favorite track is?
I would probably say Ma 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 Belle.
What?
If I had to choose one.
Wow, that's shocking.
Why is that?
Because it's such a good song.
I don't know. Just I don't know. The butt rock vibes with the violins just don't pair that well. I was kind of thinking between this and Oh No Not Susan, but I still like the kind of the violin vibes on that. Even if it's kind of got a weird disconnect between the beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's it has kind of a weird it ends on a weird dissonant tone. It's not really a sound that ELO pursues much outside of this song, right? They don't really go the hard rock vibe most of the time, so
which is
maybe a bit of a musical cul-de-sac.
Yeah. They definitely fit more with the sock hop vibe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they never leave that behind.
No.
This album really didn't have a sock hop song.
No, it didn't.
Now that I think about it, that's surprising.
They subbed it out for the hard rock attempt.
Yes, which I guess that's my monkey balls curse right there.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your least favorite?
I see. In my opinion, this is one of the strongest albums that they've ever done.
You gotta pick a least favorite though.
I think probably Oh No Not Susan.
Okay.
I still really like that song, but I think it's the weakest because it is a little bit jarring with the jumping around in styles, but and the cursing on my ELO album, it's more likely than you think.
that really upsets you, doesn't it?
Yeah, me. I never curse. You'll say something and I'll take you inside and say, Cooper, can you not fucking say that? That's really fucking inappropriate.
We like to keep our podcast PG.
Yeah. But again, Love the song, but I think it is probably the weakest. But so that out of the way, what's your favorite song then, Cooper? If it's not Ma 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 Bell, what the hell is your favorite?
I actually really like Daybreaker. Which might be,
then.
you know.
We agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I was gonna think that was a bit of a controversial pick since it's like a purely instrumental, but I mean it's a dang good instrumental. Not that I don't like, the vocals on this album. I think they're pretty good. But the song's just, very dramatic, very energetic, very nice pairing of synth and violin. Yeah, I just think it kind of exemplifies what makes this era of ELO good.
Yeah. No,
so you agree with that?
I agree 100%. This Daybreaker is the track that brings me back to this album. And when I say I think the B-side is the strongest, that is, 75% of the reason. And I really like Ma 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 Bell and In the Hall of the Mountain King, but Daybreaker is just that song, it gets in your head and it just stays there. It's so good. I love it. Such a good song. But that's our favorites and least favorite. We got to rate it now, Coop.
We do.
I think I did it last time. I'm not positive.
You did. So I think it's my turn too.
So why do we use cars, Cooper? Why the rating system?
Well, we call ourselves the Audio Shop because, as you know, Jeff Lynne famously drives cars.
Yeah.
For the longest time, we thought, okay, it's cool that Jeff drives cars, but when's it gonna come? For the rest of us, when are we able to adopt the technology? And then just this last year, they actually opened up cars for the rest of the human population.
Yeah.
So honestly, Jeff's a little upset. He was only able to monopolize cars for the last 60 years or so. But it's good that we're kind of growing and going on. So to celebrate, of course, we have a car themed podcast.
It's made my 45-mile trek to work a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. Now you only have to, you still don't know how to drive a car, so you just push it the entire way. So it's actually slowed you down considerably.
But I can take more stuff.
Yes. So at the tip top, you got showroom. That's the cream of the crop, the best of the best. And then all the way at the bottom, you have the scrapyard, the get it away from me, bottom of the barrel rating. And then we'll have a like new, fixer upper, user rental in between. And we'll give it a high or low, kind of depending on how we're feeling that day. So with that all being said, Sam, how would you rate On the Third Day by Electric Light Orchestra?
I think I'm going to have to give this a low showroom.
High praise.
Yes, this is one of my favorite ELO albums by far. Which is, I feel like it's one of the ones that kind of gets forgotten. But it is so solid all the way through. The rollovers between tracks is pretty rough, but each song individually is so strong. It's just a good time. It's short too, only short 40 minutes, 40-ish minutes, 39, whatever. Who's counting? But it's got a lot of really strong tracks on it. And Showdown kind of gives you a glimpse into what ELO becomes. So it's just fun all around. What about you, Coop? What do you rate this?
I give it a like new. Maybe not quite as generous. Not as generous as you are. I still think there's some, like I said, not a big fan of Ma 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 Bell. Certainly some lack of album flow throughout this album. Almost like it almost seems like intentional at points. But I think some really strong individual songs. Maybe some ideas like with the whole Ocean breakup, not I think 100% panning out. I think so. There's some strong individual songs here. Some interesting ideas. Obviously, I think this is kind of where they peak in terms of the orchestral, electric sound. I think from going on here on out, it's gives a lot more, rock and electric, and kind of forgoes the orchestral elements, or at least, to the extent that they have them on the first 3 albums. But yeah, it's just a fun listen. Has some interesting elements, and I think it's definitely their top half albums.
Yeah, it's good. Well, with that, we're gonna roll on over to the spare tire, which is just whatever else we've been listening to. And as we roll over, Cooper, I have some unfortunate news.
Ooh, what's that?
Roy Wood is part of Reform UK.
Oh. Wait, what do they stand for again?
The right-wing party that was a big part of Brexit.
Oh, well.
And before that, he was part of UKIP, which...
So maybe so Jeff was right all along.
Yes, which was the Eurosceptic right-wing populist party. So,
Oh boy. Now he's an old British fan, so
yeah.
I guess I shouldn't be that surprised.
But what have you been listening to, Coop?
Not too new. I have been listening to a lot of Crying, the band. Not
What have
not
you been listening
just
to? Crying, mainly myself.
I record and then just fall asleep to it.
Yeah.
Man, no, there's a band Crying, which I have just happened upon, which I thought had some interesting kind of almost kind of a poppy 8-bit sound to them. They released a couple albums in the 2010s. Yeah, but beyond that, pretty nothing too new on my end. What about you, Sam?
I don't think I actually listened to anything this week. I was just catching up on podcasts and YouTube stuff, so I actually didn't listen to any music. I mean, I listened to Takanaka, of course, while I'm at work. Was it this week that I discovered that guy who redoes video game and other music as Masayoshi Takanaka? I believe it
You
was.
you did.
Yeah,
It was
so
the Daisy Circuit one.
Yes, so I've been listening to some of that too. That dude is crazy good. So I guess that's another thing I'll link in the comments and make sure it started. Stop. Don't start. Hate YouTube ads now. Why am I getting an ad? I should have Chrome ad blocker on, but I don't use Chrome. But the guy's name is Wayne, and he just remakes. I mean, he does other music as well, but he remakes music as if it was written by Masayoshi Takanaka. He did the Mario Kart Wii title theme, and my favorite thing he does is he also edits the covers of the albums. So he did Daisy Circuit Takanaka, but it's the album cover for Brazilian Skies, except it's Daisy on the cover. Or he did the Mario Kart Wii theme, but it's Takanaka in a Wii Mario Kart looking up at the camera, where originally he was in a convertible. Just a lot of fun stuff like that. And it's really good too. He did the World of Adventures from Hunter x Hunter as a Takanaka song.
Yeah, this guy's just making music basically exclusively for an audience of you,
Yes.
essentially.
The cover is his on guitar photo, but he's holding a card from Greed Island.
God.
Or no, sorry, I guess he's holding a hunter's license, but he's standing on Greed Island. But he is quite good, and he does some original stuff too. I've been trying to dig through some of his work, but he's got a lot of videos and he releases regularly. Because Daisy's released 8 days ago, and then 4 days later he released Quartz Quadrant from Sonic CD, but it's Takanaka.
That's proficient or prolific.
Yeah. Yeah, he's within the last month he's released 5 songs or 6 songs, maybe more. It's crazy. He's fast.
Okay, well, I'm glad you found someone who is scratching that itch.
Yeah, he did a Virtual Insanity cover. You should go look at it.
Ooh, I do like that.
Not
song.
Takanaka, just a hymn cover. But
just Jamiroquai.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been listening. Oh, he also did. He did Les Festins from Ratatouille as a Takanaka song.
Okay, that one I gotta listen to.
I was gonna play it. Don't, Jonah. No one else listens to this podcast, so we don't have to worry about this. But don't tell anybody. I'm gonna play it at New Year's and see what happens. So
I'm gonna have to look it up right now just to satiate my curiosity.
Yeah, it's here. I'll just send you the link. It's good.
Ah, perfect.
But yeah.
All right, but I think that's it.
Yeah, that's all we got. So if you've liked what you've heard for some reason and you want to hear some more, you can scroll down on the Twitch page and that'll take you to a picture of Jeff Lynn, who's the guy with the aviators on, who, Thanks-Lynning, this whole thing. And that'll take you to YouTube, where almost all of our past episodes are. And if you're on YouTube and you want to listen to us live, Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern, usually, we will be live on Twitch, and you can listen to us and berate us in the chat. We will see it, and we might respond, because we were easily goaded. And we're also on Blue Sky.
Yeah, follow us at Audio Shop Pod. That's POD on Blue Sky, and we'll let you know what album we're listening to and when we're listening to it. And I have the login now, so
yes,
I can actually update it.
The last tweet was over 100 days ago, and then Cooper.
I tweeted for this one. Yeah, I tweeted for this one.
Finally logged back in, and I actually got it set up so it's actually on the Twitch too, so you can see the tweet stream. So, which is how I discovered that Cooper hadn't been sending anything, because the last one was 112, and the one before that was 259.
Look, there's a lot of things going. I've got a lot of irons in the fire.
We've only put out like 6 things on the Blue Sky account, and we've been pushing it for like over a year, 274 days ago. But
an extreme amount of irons in the fire.
Yes. But that's all we got. So we will see you next time.
Catch you later, Shoppies.
See ya.